It's 13:32 4BU, you're on the Big Brekkie with Vic, and it's time for our weekly book club segment, all thanks to the Book Boutique Bundaberg. Check them out over on Bourbong Street, and let me tell you right now, the book of the week is a very, very inspiring one indeed, one that you certainly won't want to miss out on, so make sure you stay tuned because we do have a couple of copies to give away. Now, this week's book is a personal story actually written by local author Ray Kennedy. Now, you may have heard Ray's story yourself before, but if not, I'm very lucky to be having a chat to him this morning. So, good morning, Ray. How are you?
Good, thanks, Vic.
Good to hear. So, you've written a book all about your story. It's called Ray's Story, Trips and Poems. For any of our listeners who might be unfamiliar with your story, can you give us a bit of a background about yourself?
I broke my neck in a car accident back in '83. My spinal cord is severed completely, which gives me no hand movement, no leg movement at all. It gives me some biceps, not very good biceps, but enough to do certain things. This particular book I wrote it with a bit of doweling in my teeth on the desktop computer. So it took about 3 months to write, I suppose. So it gives the listeners an idea of what you can do when you put your mind to it. You can write a book if you want, using your teeth and a stick. But I did it, and it worked out okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Good on you. Just incredible.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful book. It's just wonderfully put together. What was it like going through the process of writing Ray's story, trips and poems?
Every time I thought about something that happened in my life, I would quickly go to the computer and write it in, and I'd put in bits and pieces of 1 year, and then something, maybe 10 years later or whatever, and then in the end joined it all together. And there were a few emotional times writing it. I like to keep a bit of humour in it, that's for sure. There was a lot of humour while I was in hospital for 9 months after breaking my neck. I had a lot of fun in hospital, believe it or not. I was a bloody stirrer. I still am a bit, I reckon. And then 9 months later, out of hospital, and I started a job 2 months later as a telephonist. That job lasted 16 years.
Wow. After your accident, that's, of course, a life-changing event. What was it like when you realised that things wouldn't be the same as they were before?
I think I coped reasonably well compared to a lot of other people on the ward. I was very close to death, and at the time I'd been married exactly 6 months, and the doctors had told my wife to undo the machine. It wasn't looking real good. But anyway, she declined, and 40-something years later, everything's fine. I think I accepted it pretty quick. I've always been a positive person, before and after.
This is a whole collection of your life's stories that you put together, poems that you've written, all from childhood through to, decades later, really. Oh, that's just incredible. Just to be able to have a chat to you, Ray, this morning and be able to have a copy right here and talking to our listeners on the show is a real privilege. So thank you for your time this morning. It's been wonderful.
No problem at all, Vic.
That is Ray Kennedy, local author of the new book, Ray's Story, Trips, Poems. Really inspiring, very funny, very heartwarming, and just an unmissable story. So if you would like a copy of Ray's own brand new self-published book, give us a call on 41530888, so you might be able to take home a copy right here on the Big Brekkie on 1332 4BU.